Hey y'all, it's me Albert with Two Tribes Primal Living, and wanted to make this video today. Nikki and I were kind of talking this morning. We had a pretty in-depth conversation about a couple of things that we as a married couple um, were curious about, and I'm going to say that. The conclusion of that conversation was for the first time in a lot of marriages and for the first time in a lot of relationships, those two people are just now being introduced to one another. And what I mean by that is they may have, people may have been married 20, 30 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, a year. Um, and there's always been work, there's always been activity. Um, Revolving around that marriage or that relationship. And what I mean by that are all the props that are absent in life right now. And I'm going to say the props are like, if you've got children, the baseball games and the soccer games and the dance recital practices and all the school functions and all that stuff that goes along with it. That prop is gone right now. And for men, football and bars and baseball and all this shit that guys do to get away from their wives, that shit's gone. Shopping and nails and fajitas and ritas and Taco Tuesdays and all these things that women get together, Wine Wednesday and in church and all these things that were once the prop that used to be used to distance yourself for a little while from your marriage or from your family or your relationship. Um, they're no longer available anymore. You don't have the option of using a prop. So for the very first time in your marriage, you may be meeting your wife or your husband or your kids, um, because you're with them. And I've heard the term used. I guess I'm stuck with her, or I guess I'm stuck with him. Um, and that's a very negative way to look at things. I would not expect an adult, um, a responsible, respectable adult with integrity to ever consider time spent with their spouses as being stuck. With my wife, I don't spend time with my wife. I'm not stuck with my wife. I share time with my wife. Every moment we're together, we're not spending time together. Spending is like frivolously getting rid of something and using it unwisely. When you're sharing something together, you're building something. You're you're making something valuable. You're sharing it. You're taking one and creating two out of it, and with that two you have a whole. Um, and that's where you find your wealth and your abundance. And I think the fact that there's a lot of guys out there, and I'm going to call them guys because they're not men, in my opinion, are pretty much drinking themselves under the table right now. They're spending a lot of a lot of their free time drinking, and this isn't some damn vacation. And I as an ex-alcoholic, I can tell you that this is not the time to be drinking. I don't care if you're drinking socially. I don't care if you're drinking for stress. I don't care if you're drinking to pass time. It doesn't matter. This is not a time for that. And I can call you a guy and not a man right now because I spent my time as a guy drinking, and I've earned my manhood. Um, by putting that shit away and putting that shit aside and not dealing with it anymore. So right now is definitely not the time. Whether you're a male or female, you females too. I know y'all can go through a bottle or two of wine in a night, no problem. Uh, but this is not the time to be drinking. This is not the time to be separating yourself from your family. This is not the time to be um, looking for distractions. This is a time, you're in a crisis right now. We're in a time of uncertainty. Things are very unclear as to how the future is going to unfold for you right now. Um, this is a time to be strategizing. This is a time to be uniting with your family, your kids, your wife, your husband. This is not a time to be looking for some excuse to get away from them. Or I got to go to the store because we forgot pickles or something. You know, you're going to go stand in a line for an hour to go get a jar of pickles. There's something not right there. And if you find yourself doing that, you might want to check yourself. Um, but you know, as a man, you know, on another note, you're home with your children. If you're fortunate enough to be home with your children, because I know a lot of homes are broken right now, as well too. A lot of children grow up in broken homes, and that's a reality. But even as a stepdad or a real father, it's your responsibility that now that you have this time with your little guys or your little gals, to teach them integrity and teach them skills and teach them pass on wisdom to them. And I'm not talking about the stats of some football player or some baseball player or the you know, scores of all-time baseball teams. That shit is it's meaningless. It's pointless. You can force that stuff on your kids, and they may accept it when they're little, but that doesn't mean it's what they want. That doesn't mean what your little guy is into. That doesn't mean what your little gal's into. All that means is they want to be close to you. They want to learn from you. And if you're not teaching them how to build stuff and repair stuff and maintain stuff and problem solve and what it's like to be a man in a time of crisis, and drinking and trying to find ways out of the family situation is not the best way to do that. You know, they're watching. They see what you're doing, and the other thing, as a man, you know, women aren't allowed right now to tend to their beauty needs, their hair, their nails, their eyebrows, you know, whatever girls go get done at salons or wherever they go get that stuff done. I don't even know how that works, but she might not be feeling 100% right now, and as a man, it is your responsibility to make her the center of your world. It is your responsibility to make sure she knows that she's beautiful and that she's sexy and you're attracted to her, and stop being the ass making comments about the girls on TV who for some reason they can get makeup and hair and lips and shit done that us normal people can't or are prohibited from. But this is not the time to be belittling your wife or even, you know, belittling your husband, because, you know, the roles have shifted in some households. You know, Nikki and I have worked and lived together for you know, going on 5 years now, and we're together 24/7. There's very little separation between the two of us, and it's been like that for you know, quite a few years now. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I need my wife. I want my wife around me. I want my wife to want me around her. I don't want her looking for excuses to get away from me. I definitely don't want to be the guy looking for excuses to get away from her. So this is the time to make her feel beautiful. You know, if you're a man and you need to be made feel beautiful, then I guess women make your man feel beautiful. But, you know, I don't even want to get into that conversation. But, you know, it's times of uncertainty right now. We should not be trying to get away. I mean, you know, I hear on news reports and articles and stuff like that domestic violence and divorces and child abuse and all these things are on the rise because people are confined together. And I really think that this country is sick from stuff like that because it shouldn't be like that. I mean, of course, there's people who don't get along, and divorce is the ultimate answer, and I've been through that before. But go try to get your truck registered right now. Go try to get your car registered. Go try to get your driver's license right now. Better yet, go try to get a divorce right now. It's not going to happen, and go try to find an alternate living solution. Those are going to be far in between too. Go try to find a new job. You're not even allowed to go find a new job right now if you needed to. So seeking greener pastures right now is not this is not the time for that. This is a time to reflect and to accept what you have in your life right now, because right now it's all you got. And if you're bitching and complaining about it, and you have negative things to say about your marriage, and you have negative things to say about your family, you have all these negative things to say, that's your fault because you chose it. Nobody forced you into that situation. And what is your role in it as well too? So I'm gonna, like I said, people are just being introduced to their spouses and their family for the very first time through this crisis, and I think if you really look within yourself and you really look deep inside yourself, if you're struggling to be with your family, if you're struggling to be with your spouse, then what are you going to do? I think part of the reason that we're going through this crisis right now is because as a society we've pissed the energies of this earth off. We've pissed the energies of this existence off, and we've developed a throwaway society where if something doesn't work or if something's not good enough, we just throw it away and get another one. And I don't think a marriage was intended to be disposable. I don't think kids and family were intended to be disposable. And there's a lot of people sick with that mindset, and it is a sickness because when people start depicting each other as disposable, there's a serious problem with society, and we're going to go through some hard times over the next 3-6 weeks. It's not going to get any better than what it is right now. So what you have right now is what you have. You chose it. You can bitch about it. You can complain about it. You can try to escape from it, but that was your choice. Nobody, like I said, nobody forced you into it. So I'm going to leave it there, and I just wanted to share this video, have this talk with whoever's listening. I don't give a shit. These are my thoughts. If you listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't. That's I'm going to put it out there anyway because it's truth. Hang on to your family. Hang on to your spouse. Be good to them. Be absolute to them, because that's all you have too in these times of uncertainty. Spend the time with your kids. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I'm going to leave it there. Take care. Be safe, and we'll talk to y'all soon.